Hi, it's Rabbi Eisenberg here, and welcome to this week's Torah. In this week's Parsha Shlach lecha, we read about the spies that were sent by Moshe Rabbeinu and the Jewish people to spy out the land and to see whether it was good or not. The spies come back with a bad report, and the Jewish people cry, saying that God will not be able to bring them into the land, and they will be lost forever in the desert. God punishes them, and those people that came out of Egypt truly did not make it to the land of Israel, and only their children made it to the land of Israel. After this story, there's another part of the Sedra where we have a few mitzvahs. And one of those mitzvahs that the Torah speaks about is the mitzvah of challah. The mitzvah that when you make a dough, a certain percentage of the dough needs to be given and set aside for the Kohen. Why is it? Why is it now that we have this mitzvah of challah mentioned right after the story of the spies? And one of the commentators, the Seforno, says that it's important after the mitzvah of the spies to have the mitzvah of challah, because challah is a follow-on for this. Why is that mitzvah of challah a follow-on for the story with the spies? And I think the answer is the following. Because with the story of the spies, the idea was the spies came back and said, no matter what's going to happen, it is impossible. God's not going to be able to help us. The army's not going to be able to help us. No one will help us to be able to conquer this land. This land is impossible. And God says, if you forget about me, if you don't realize that I can do everything and I can bring you into this land, then everything is impossible. And so now when you make your bread and you've made it into this land and you're now getting the bounty of this country by making this bread, you then go ahead and you make a special mitzvah called challah. And that mitzvah of challah, where you give a percentage and you say, God, you brought me into this land. It was you who gave us the power to do this. It's only because of you that we have this. As you do this, you remember the issues that happened. You remember the problems and say, God, we were wrong. You were able to save us, and you were able to do it all alone. This is the idea of mitzvah of challah. Remembering God is with us at all times. When we eat, when we drink, when we sleep. At all times, God is there for us, and God makes sure that we're okay. Shabbat Shalom.